you don't see right away. You see the trees and not the whole forest. And Paul writes, he quotes Genesis chapter 2 and says, honor your father and mother. That word honor means respect, cherish, regard, value, appreciate. It's one thing to appreciate authorities, appreciate our parents when they're doing and they're kind of acting what we would like. They're giving us freedom to do what we would like to do, right? Or authority figures in our life that are matching up idealistically with everything that we're about, and things are smooth sailing, communications flowing, everything seems to be going good. But the test of honor is when things don't feel good and when what we want to do goes contrary to what maybe our parents are saying we need to do. And we need to honor. We need to be grateful. Like the children that we have here, it's easy. It's very easy for children, especially younger children, to get all the stuff, whatever stuff is. My daughter, my wife's not here. She was in punishment yesterday. And Mom said, I don't want to get in trouble. Mom said she can't have any dessert tomorrow at all. And I had to go to Elkhart and do this, had to speak about Gary in the church. And Gabriella came with me. And so we rolled down there, and she would see the little dessert. They had a banquet type thing and had all these pies and stuff. She saw it. Daddy, can I get some? I said, what did Mommy say? She's like, I can't have any. And so I had this, it's like chocolate cream cheese thingy that was just like lovely, turtle-ish. It had drizzle on it and chocolate. It was good. And she said, just lusting after it. She's like, Poppy, can I have just a little bit? I was like, okay, just a little bit. Shh. That little ungrateful little girl, I want more. No, I said just no more. I was like, what did Mom say? I can't have it. It's easy to get ungrateful, right? Even as we become adults. Big thought number 2, we are to honor those placed in authority in our lives. Big thought number 3 comes out of verse 4. It's this. We tend to provoke people to anger, sometimes unknowingly. If I could write further, sometimes we knowingly do it and enjoy it. I know certain personalities in the room, and I'm looking, and they're just like, yeah. And other times we do it and we don't know that we've done it. In verse 4 it says, fathers, do not exasperate your children, exasperate or provoke your children. Instead, bring them up. On your little sheet in the cursive, I don't know if you can read it, I just dug up a whole bunch of synonyms for provoke. Aggravate, anger, annoy, bother, enrage, exasperate, get on one's nerves, get under one's skin. Grate, incense, incite, inflame, infuriate, irritate, madden, make blood boil. I thought I would bring just a little visual thing of kind of what provoking would be in a lot of ways. Got a nice shiny apple, and this is a cheese grater. And I could take this apple and grate it. I can provoke it, if you will. And I can make a big mess out of that apple pretty quick. Paul, when he's writing here, is talking to fathers, but not exclusively. Fathers in that time, and even for today, as head of the household, they're supposed to set the tone for the household. But the reality of our fallen world is sometimes fathers aren't around. And sometimes all we have is mothers. And not only that, in our settings, there are opportunities where we are in a position to guide people, and there is application here too. Fathers, don't provoke your children to anger. Don't be that cheese grater to the precious child God has entrusted to you. Last week we kind of talked about some of the struggles that guys have and some of the struggles ladies have, we said the generalization statement that women love more naturally and disrespect more naturally in conflict, and men respect more naturally and are more unloving naturally in conflict. Could it be that Paul is saying, you know what, fellas? When it comes to your children, you might be apt to become a cheese grater to your child when you're trying to get them to do the right thing. And you are, in essence, provoking them to anger because maybe you haven't considered their feelings. Zari, if you could click on, I'm going to go through this real quick and then we'll fill this in. The little fill in the blanks thing says firm versus unreasonable. Next one says manifests in fault finding and nagging. Manifests in absence and conflict. And the fruit of it is anger and discouragement. You could flip over to the book of Colossians chapter 3 verse 21 where there's a companion passage here where the writer's talking about not embittering your children. As parents, as we guide our children, we need to be firm with them. There are times where our children will push every button in the book to try to get away with anything that they can get away with, right? And if we are going to submit unto Christ, number one, we are charged with raising our children in a godly way. And those times when those kids are pushing that button to the point where it's like, man, it'd be so much easier just to give in here, right? We've all been there. I don't want to deal with it. They start screaming, they go off the deep end, they do whatever, whether it be, warm that butt, or they are in the corner, or I took away TV, and it seems like it only got worse. We need to be firm. What Paul is getting at is that we can't trip on the other side where we become unreasonable. There's a delicate balance, and sometimes we don't know we've crossed it until we've crossed it, right? Sometimes we unknowingly provoke them to anger. And sometimes you can see it in your children, right? When it's not that they are mad because you took away their toy or you put them on timeout or took away the Xbox, but there's something deeper there. You have to be careful. We can get so caught up in the letter of the law of what we're telling our children to do or guiding our children that we miss the more important thing. We can become so demanding and so strict that it squashes them when they don't know that we love them. They know they want me to do well in school, they want me to do well at home, but do they love me? Are they proud of me? Are the expectations so high there's no way that I could ever match mama's or daddy's or granny's expectations? And so, man, why do it? Sometimes that happens. We have to be careful. Be about fault finding and nagging. Or it can manifest provoking our children to anger, it can show up in absence and conflict. Let me break that down a little bit to you. When I say absence, it's like this. I don't know how many of you as parents, maybe not even in the parental realm, has told somebody that you were going to do something. Maybe it's, I'm going to go fishing with you, little Johnny. Or we're going to go out to the ball game. We're going to play dolls. I'm going to play Legos with you. We're going to go out and get some ice cream. I'm going to be at your school retreat with you, and I'm going to be a chaperone. And then you don't follow through. Sometimes there's legitimate reasons, right? As adults, there are things that we have to deal with that our children don't have to deal with. Sometimes in life, with our friendships and other relationships, they don't even know what's going on over in our lives, that sometimes things trump what we have committed to. But we have to be very, very careful with our children and with our relationships, that we don't say we're going to do something and not follow through, because it begins to build anger in a child and in any relationship. And sometimes unknowingly we do that. But it's not only anger, but it can be discouragement. My daddy said he was going to be here, but where's he at? I get guilty of this. I'll tell my kids, hey, I'm gonna come up and play with you. And I'm working on stuff, working on message, working on whatever. And I say, I'm gonna be there in 10 minutes. And 10 minutes goes by and they're coming down, Daddy, pulling on me, let's go. I'm like, I said I was gonna be there. And I start getting frustrated and they're saying, Daddy, but you told me. And then I start remembering when I was a kid, hearing those same words and how it made me feel when those fishing trips never happened.